All right. We're recording, right? We'll all be good now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Behave. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Let's pick up where we left off. I know we talked about content last when we spoke, so I'm just gonna pick up from there, and then we can obviously we can circle back to any questions and follow ups to uh, to anything we had yesterday or today for that matter.
Great.
All right.
Hey, remember, sorry, Nirav, after we finish this, I just want to make sure we don't forget to go through the travel itinerary stuff.
Sure. Yes. Okay. Great.
And let me just bring up a question before I forget it, and we don't have to answer it now. But if customer attendees are automatically over as attendees, and it's an on-off switch to then open the app to people, we initially are not going to involve customers until we're comfortable with how it works. We're going to use it with our internal speakers and account team.
Okay.
So I just want to just log that question that I want to make sure there's a way that this does not default to being sent out to customers initially. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Nirav, the way to prevent that, but still allow them to assign customers to the app, is to basically make sure that the automatic email and notification doesn't go out.
Right. Yeah.
So the app will exist. All the internal CA people can log into it. Technically, if the customer had a password, they could log into it too, but they never are going to know that the app exists without one of you telling them the app is there. And then even if they found the app in the App Store and downloaded it, they wouldn't have a password to actually enter inside of it. So I think that should be more than fine. Now, when you are ready to start inviting customers, then we will turn on the automatic notification to the customer, which means that they will receive an email once they're assigned to a briefing meeting indicating downloading the app and then giving them their username and password to log into the app.
Yep.
So that should take care of it as long as we have that turned off, that they can use it internally, as long as they want before we extend it out to the customer.
Sure. And additionally, I must...
Okay, so
yeah.
In this example, just looking back on the roles from yesterday, no, where you were was perfect.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So we had Leon as the customer, I was the speaker, Haley was the account team, and Nirav, I know you were the briefing manager, and then you also added yourself to something else. So it's not clear. I think you also added yourself as a customer.
In Briefing Edge, that's correct. I added myself as the customer.
Yeah. So that's fine. So in this example, assuming you're not a customer, we would just uncheck the box for Leon. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, so let's back up a bit to Briefing Edge. If you're not even if you're going to roll this out internally in Briefing Edge, you wouldn't even include the customer's email in the attendee list, right?
Wait a second. No, sorry, I'm going to interrupt. So,
okay.
I think the best scenario here is they go about their regular business just as if the customer were going to use the app. However, we never put the app in the customer's hand. That's the best way for Tricia and all of her folks at TA to get used to using the app. What that means is that when they're using Briefing Edge, they assign the customer just like a regular meeting.
I see.
In the app here on the screen you have, you still keep all those people checkboxed. Okay, this will allow your discussion leaders, your internal folks that are discussion leaders, your program managers, to go into the app, view the actual customer as an attendee, look at their bio, view the agenda, do all that kind of stuff, because that's the real world type of thing that you want to do. The only thing we don't want to do is allow the customer to actually download the app. And the best way to prevent that is just don't give them credentials or a link to download the app. So that's why I'm saying, Mira, they still want to do everything exactly the same in Briefing Engine, everything exactly the same in our platform.
Okay.
The only difference is we will not send the email.
Yeah. So these two checkboxes up here, you just want to make sure they're not checked, and they shouldn't. Yeah. They won't be attended, and that's defaulted off. Trisha, these aren't check marked when meetings are created in our system. You have to go in there and actually check box it when you're ready to send out an email. So it won't automatically disperse those emails.
And we don't initially want to ever email all attendees or new attendees. So if we just want to email specific ones, where do we do that? Just the selected ones, just the ones that are checked?
Yeah. So you would when you hit email new attendees, it would just be the new ones that haven't received an email, or people who are check marked in this box. Or you can
Wait. So you don't want to click the email new attendees.
Yeah. Or
and you don't want to click email all attendees.
That's correct. Right.
Yeah, we won't use those at all.
So, wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
So, So, two questions here. One, can you default to where those are not checked? And then, when we do want to just email specific people on this list, like maybe we start with just including the briefing manager. I'm making this up. And the briefing manager is Mira. Can we just select him and send out the notification?
So what I would do in the phase that you're going to do just internal people, I would just send the email manually to them. I would just open up Outlook and then just manually say, and you can send it to all three people or whatever. Just say, hey, we're using this mobile app. Here's your credentials. Log into it, because it's really easy to just manually send that email.
So there's not a way in the system to just select certain people to send it to. It's either all new or all.
Right. So it's an automatic to all new attendees, and then once they've received the email once and they've downloaded the app, from that point over. Like if it's a customer that comes into another briefing down the road, or if it's one of your executives or one of your discussion leaders that just has another briefing the following week, they're not going to receive an email a second time. What they'll do is just receive a notification in the app saying you've been assigned to another meeting.
Okay. So
that's right. So that's why I'm saying in this transition where you're only doing internal people only in the beginning, we still want to assign the customer. We just don't want to send the email. So we just turn off the email entirely until we're ready to extend it to the customer.
Okay. So this screen, I just want to make sure I understand. This screen where you're selecting people to assign, you're assigning them to the meeting? Because the people are already assigned to the meeting based on over from briefing.
Right. So, this is all the people that are currently assigned to the meeting that will automatically happen from Briefing Edge. So all that you're really doing here is just verifying that these are all the right people.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have to do is verify.
Okay.
And here's another important element. if you want to add or remove anyone from this meeting, let's say Haley can't make it. All of a sudden she can't make it the day before. Then you would actually go into Briefing Edge and remove her in Briefing Edge, not this system. And then 3 to 5 minutes later, she'll actually automatically be removed from this list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So along those lines, what we talked about yesterday with speakers and briefing managers, we would still change, if a briefing manager changes, then we would go in and change it through, sorry, I could just, sorry, we have to go in and change it through Briefing Edge, but
That's right.
that change should also notify here that the briefing manager is no longer Nirav. I'm not saying your name right. Could you say it?
Yeah, sure.
I don't even say it right either, Tricia. I just call him Nirav.
Yeah, that's fine.
What is the right pronunciation?
Oh, it's Nirav, but I just butchered it every day.
Thank you. I just wanted to put the accent in the right place. I apologize. So if we remove Nirav as the briefing manager, and instead it became, Joe, then we would want, so what we talked about yesterday with the automatic push, then there's also implications if the briefing manager or the speakers change. And that's why we don't want to manually enter those on that attendee screen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It will get messed up because we do change speakers a lot, and then periodically it happens that the briefing manager changes.
I see.
Right. Yeah, all attendees, speaking managers, anyone ever assigned to the meeting, always do a Briefing Edge.
Yep.
That's like a big rule that we'll have to make sure we get across really well in all the training for your other folks. But it's always Briefing Edge. Any of those adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's an important thing that when we train the broader team for the initial rollout, that everybody knows on this screen that it's really just confirming who right now is showing up.
Exactly.
That they should.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that email that you're talking about with the information, where do we get that from? That automated email that we could just then copy over and send out ourselves.
So we can give you some basically copy that we've created before, and then we can modify it for CA, and then everyone should just leverage that copy for your own selves internally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then ultimately, when we do want to do it this way, we would, I have to say, and this is a log, this is another request. It seems like you would want to control who you send the request to, even if they're showing up as an attendee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something we're looking at expanding the email functionality on the system. So that's in the roadmap, but it's not it's not something that's going to be available in the next couple of weeks or anything. It may be available by the time you roll out to the customer, though. It just depends on how long of a period you're working with it internally.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. And this is going to become a problem. Is that when we add customers, it's sometimes early on in the planning phase, and we are not ready to send the app to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you are ready. But you are ready at that stage for some of your internal people to start looking at the meeting, right?
We are ready. We are future, we may not want that to go out until we're ready for it to go out. We may want to get more information in about the customer. Do you know what I mean? It could be that I think that's a really important requirement for us.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll put that on the list, and then we'll just have to look at the timing and everything with you. But that's something that, we have on the roadmap, and we may be able to fuel up sooner. But it's definitely something there.
Okay. Because I'll tell you, I think it's going to be a caution for us once either we're not going to use the automated or else we just will never. But the thing is that we don't want speakers to get invited until we have all the customer information set up, right? Because they want to be able to go in and see who's coming. Right now, communication tool with that. But yet, we're not ready for customers to get invited to the app yet.
Right.
Then it's still changing. We don't want to invite the customers to this app until that agenda is solid and the speakers are lined up. So the more I talk about this, I can't see us fully using this with customers until either that or we have to just keep controlling access separately.
Right. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I understand what you're saying. So.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, moving on. Okay, so jumping now back to meeting surveys. So we got to content, and we talked about that, how we can upload content into our system. The next section are meeting surveys. So meeting surveys are actually being brought over from Briefing Edge into our system. They're duplicated across each attendee, and it's just a verification to make sure the correct survey form is being used in this area as well.
Why is it not on Trish here? Trisha.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I'm good with either of those. But why? So here's the thing. This is again specific by role. So Nirav as the briefing manager, although he's also a customer, so it's hard to tell why he's showing up here.
Just to speak on that, Tricia. So I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but briefing managers and discussion leaders, if they're not part of the attendee list right now, they're not gonna show up in this list. But we're gonna talk to Tom to make sure that can come through as you expect when they're updated in the topics section. So right now, I would associate my role as just a customer because it's pulling me in as a customer right now, not as a briefing manager.
Okay. So then anybody who's a customer, which is Leon and Nirav right now, would have the link to the customer survey. Haley, Haley was the account team, so we have a separate link. There's a separate survey for account people. And then me as a speaker, that's correct. I don't get a survey. Now, what's not clear to me is what the experience is going to be like to fill this out online through a phone. But that's okay. We may then choose to do it on a piece of paper. But see, one of the things we thought about is after each session, do we have the opportunity to have them go in and put, because if you went to one of these links, I don't know if you want to open one of the links up. I'm not sure what it's going to show, but
It'll show the survey. Yeah.
okay. It might be easier to explain if you'll look at that.
Okay.
Okay. So this may be a lot of stuff to fill out. So my customer received high value, because this is the salesperson survey.
So okay, so this was associated to this was Haley's. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Okay.
Now, did it assign the right survey? Which one of us is the customer? Playing the customer role?
Either you or me. Yeah. So let's see what.
Well, for sure, but Niraj, you have two roles in that, so it's not clear, but.
Okay, so let me pull out Leon's URL and let's see what that shows up. Oh yeah, it is a different. So this is specific to the customer.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So, scroll down. The top questions are definitely something, that we get at the end of the day. But scroll down, and you'll see under content, and we may revamp our surveys, but for right now, see how there's a rating for each session?
Uh-huh.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then it goes into how the speaker delivered it.
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to instead, at the end of a session, point them to the evaluation of the content and the speaker, is there a way to break this up and just have certain questions attached to sessions? Or there's not a way to do it because you're looking
I think
there is a way to do a separate survey per agenda item in our system, but there's not a way to do that in Briefing Edge.
And if you do it in your system, then the information doesn't get pushed back to Briefing Edge. Is that right?
Well, no, it can. It can get back. If you go into Briefing Edge and actually set up a bunch of separate surveys, you can, and it would get back to Briefing Edge. However, the part that I get concerned about for you is I think it's going to be really confusing to set up for your people, because right now it's pretty simply one survey for all customers and then one survey for internal people.
right.
And that automatically gets assigned to people. So it's pretty easy. If you can technically create another survey, copy the link, then go into each agenda item within our system, not Briefing Edge, and actually assign the link to each individual agenda item. But my concern is that that'll actually be pretty challenging for a lot of people. If you wanted to do that, Trisha, I would say we should roll that out later on once your folks really get the hang of the whole thing.
So then I think what we have to do, and I apologize, I need to send you information on my phone, but we just need to see how this looks through an app, through a phone.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to show you that. Yeah, I'm going to show you that at the end of this call. So the flow is just to give you the idea of what the training flow was. Is I was going to take you through what's needed to be done in Briefing Edge, and then through the CMS, and eventually how that's showing up in the app at the end.
Okay, sure, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, great. Let's get on to the next section. So, yeah, everything, you're just verifying the links. So we did that, and the right links are associated with the correct customers. So I'm just curious to see now, like you mentioned that Leon, the right customer survey came up, Haley, the right account manager survey came up. I'm curious to see if a customer survey comes up for me or a briefing manager survey will come
Yeah,
up.
I know.
And it looks like, yeah, it's a customer survey.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so the next section is actually the activity stream, and the activity stream can be toggled on or off. So right now it's off as a default, so it'll always be defaulted off.
So, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
Just as a second part of that question, which you don't have to test now, if we removed you as a customer, where you were only the briefing manager, then if that survey line should be blank.
Yeah. Well, right now with the functionality, I wouldn't port over to the CMS. But after talking to Tom and getting that, yeah, I think.
You're right. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back to meeting survey, if you're removed, you'll actually be removed from this list too.
Yes, exactly. That's when.
Yeah. I get it. But then when you ask Tom to pass over the briefing manager information,
Mm-hmm.
that person's still going to show up as an attendee on this list, but there should not be a survey line.
Correct. Like you for your for example your attendee survey.
Right, because I'm the speaker and there's no survey for me, correct?
Yeah.
So for the speaker role and the briefing manager role, it's adding a new type of user really to who you recognize. Because you seem to recognize the speaker,
Mm-hmm.
you seem to recognize the customer, and you seem to recognize the account team.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So for this new type of user, briefing manager, they would not get a survey either.
Okay. All right. Good. No,
Okay.
Take a note of that to bring up to Tom when we talk to him. Thanks. Okay. Manager.
Cool. Good.
All right. So moving back to the activity stream, like I was saying, it's initially defaulted off, and if you want to include an activity stream in the app, all you need to do is click on this to toggle it on and off, and you have the ability to actually you could turn on different aspects of the activity stream. So there's a social media feed, a managed feed, user attendee feed, and a custom link. What we recommend is the managed feed, social media feed, and the attendee feed for CA. And what that'll do is it'll actually pull hashtags and handles directly into the app. So let's say there's a specific hashtag or a Twitter handle for your New York EBC that you wanted to pull in. We can actually just go into the social media feed and type in those handles or hashtags right here. Do you know any off the top of your head? Yeah, go ahead, Leon.
Because this particular feature is not as much used for EBC meetings as we use this for events. But let me ask Tricia, do you guys like to use social media to give people kind of heads up on what's going on around CA? I mean, is that a popular thing that CA uses?
CA does use social media in general. The thing that I'm debating,
Mm-hmm.
I think when we go to the app, because initially when we saw the app, there was that main screen that had different places to go, and then at the bottom you went into your EBC meeting, right? And we talked about what that main screen should be for us. So I think it's unclear because I think this social media is then on that main screen before you get into the EBC, and
it's not on the this shows up in the app in the EBC meeting if you turn it on. As Nirav mentioned, this is defaulted off by meeting. It's defaulted off, but if you want this on, then you can go in here and turn it on and enable it. But this particular feature, I would say, is only appropriate for customers that want to really learn about CA prior to the meeting, or there's a collaboration component in this activity stream that that allows them to chat and ask questions with the other people that are going to the meeting. And that's where, I want to make sure it's appropriate for how CA's culture is with your customers. Prior to us going kind of in depth and training you on it, most EBCs aren't really using this feature. If they do use it, they're using it for like a networking event you might be hosting at your EBC, or a particular customer that like the conversation continues going on well after the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Then this might be a feature that you actually turn on or enable in the app.
Right.
Right. And for an EBC, so just through the general CA handle, we don't expect our customers to engage in an EBC conversation with us.
Okay.
So, if it was more, I remember when we first looked at this on the main screen, if it was more just a place for them to go to see some of the conversations with CA, that was fine, but I felt like it was a little bit distracting.
Right.
Because then getting to the point of why, we had this. Now, but I think when we come to the way this is displayed on the app, we can talk about it again. So what is the managed feed?
Yeah, I was just.
So this is.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is. Let's do this, Tricia. This is really hard to explain without showing you it in the app.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've trained or shown you this feature. Let's come back to this when we're demoing the app for you. I think it's going to be a lot easier to understand.
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So, just for the demo purposes in the app, you want me to include this or turn it off, and I could just add at CA Tech as a easy social media.
Yeah, I think leave it on so that we see. Leave everything on, and then.
I think it's.
Oh, got it. Okay, good.
CA Inc.
Are there hashtags or the app?
We at one point, see if you can find a hashtag. And again, I think we've one pushed out tweet. We did like hashtag CAEBC or something. But we decided you should at least find one item under it.
Let me see. Let me just go to.
Oh, right, I just saw it.
API?
Yeah, what could be interesting as you go through this is that if we had certain, like, a security-focused EDC or, certain EDCs, we could just put in the hashtags that are specific to maybe what might be of interest to them.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
totally. For now, I'll just keep CA Inc. in here for right now. But we can.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, we'll leave it so we can see what it looks like. So that's good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, we'll jump back to the functionality of what each of these are when we see it in the app. And then for right now, the last section is polling. And like I mentioned earlier, pollings are actually associated with notifications. So if you want to take a poll of the group, it's as easy as adding a poll right here to create questions and answers. So you can have up to 3 answers per poll question. Or,
Yep. No, that's good. And then, oh, I see. And then you have to put in the
pre-populated.
selection.
Right, exactly. You would have to put in answers here, or multiple choice type of answer question.
Pre-populated.
Yeah, why don't you, Neeraj, for the sake of demoing this, why don't you just set one up here real quick? Like, what's your favorite color? And then let's when we get the app open, you can send this poll out, and then we can show her exactly how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yep. And that actually, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. And you can track the real-time analytics within the app too, which we'll show you right now. So the last part of making sure everything is coming into I should say second to last, to make sure everything is coming in properly to the app, is verifying the venue information. So everything, if you notice here in these small areas, are been completed. So we would go back up here to the main navigation bar and click on venue. And we want to go to the New York EBC. And we just want to make sure all the information in here is correct. Right now we have a lot of placeholders, so we'll obviously get these images updated as we get newer images from your team, or if our designers want to do it. But I put in some information based on what's around your location, like the closest hotel. These are all logistic things, so restaurant name, entertainment, and then the local maps. So all of this looks good.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I'm going to make
sure. On the venue level here, what's cool is as you assign every EBC meeting to that venue, you don't have to enter this in again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a one-time setup.
So once we put in a few restaurants for New York, we don't have to put them in for every meeting.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Because we do have restaurants we tend to use. Now, it would then just show them on a map, but that map would be the same for all customers. So if they're eating at the Modern and another customer is eating somewhere else, they both see those restaurants, correct? It's not a big deal. I just want to understand the way it works.
So the way this works is it's going to be a list of restaurant recommendations for any customer meeting that you have in the New York office.
Okay. All right.
So
we don't generally recommend restaurants, but we usually have an organized dinner somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so it would be more that they look at the map to see where the dinner is.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's how I would do that though. Is in this particular area of the app, this is just travel logistics area where you have some recommended hotels and restaurants, depending on a lot of times those individuals may come in for a couple days, stay over the weekend, whatever it may be. But in your agenda, I would actually, if you are doing a specific dinner with a client and you're going there with the client, I would actually put that in the agenda as an agenda item. And then that's where you can do a specific map and a specific time frame to that restaurant.
So we can connect a map to an agenda item?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a separate upload area.
Yeah.
So when you're in the agenda say you had a dinner at 7 p.m. at the end of your day, you can put in there, like this says lunch, but you can put in there dinner, and you can actually assign a map specifically to that agenda item.
Yeah.
Now that part though, so if you did have a dinner, what you would do is you'd enter in the metadata in Briefing Edge in the agenda, which would be basically the name of it, the time of it, all that would come over from Briefing Edge. Then you would come into our system here and actually add a map to that restaurant. Because Briefing Edge doesn't do the maps.
No, I know. So what do we do? Just go out and save a map?
Yeah, it's really easy. All you do is you just go into Google Maps. Nirav can show you here. Nirav, why don't you go into Google Maps real quick? It's really easy to do. And
so
then
look up Fresco, New York City.
okay.
Is it a pizzeria?
No, it's like Fresco's by Soto, something like that.
Oh, this one? Fresco's by.
Fresco's by Soto, yeah.
Okay, so all you do now is you just copy the URL and stick it in there, and then you grab an image, a screenshot image of this.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, and then he's going to upload that image. And then now what's cool about this is you have a static image of approximately where it's at, plus you have the Google GPS images. So if they click on it, it'll open up Google Maps inside the app itself, and then they can do turn-by-turn locations. Because when wherever they're at, prior to meeting you at the restaurant, Google Maps will automatically identify their location, and then it's already pre-programmed where we're taking them. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is actually.
Yeah, it's very helpful for when you are doing dinners and stuff like this. So.
Yeah, no, this is
Mm-hmm.
cool. And once we set up a bunch of these, then it's just keep reusing the same URLs and images, right?
Well, it doesn't do this on the agenda level. You have to do them each time you do the agenda level. But on the venue level, it does when you're doing your recommended restaurants or your recommended ways of traveling to CA. It'll save those on a venue level, which then means any meeting you assign to that venue, it'll automatically leverage those. But if you are going to do it like this, and it just takes you really 60 seconds to go in and add a map to an agenda item. It doesn't take long.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, I mean, the last step really is to just publish this meeting so that we can see it in the app. So all of these attendees, if obviously they have the app URL and their credentials, can see now this meeting in their app. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's the meeting.
Did you just note that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like that. No, was it just a whole list of people that I saw flash by?
Oh yeah, here, let me go back. So what's going on is,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Leon.
Go ahead, Nirav.
Yeah. So what it's doing is it's pulling the database of all of the folks in Briefing Edge system in our CMS. But if I click selected, these are the only folks that are associated with that meeting. So it's a feature that helps easily search users in our in the database to assign to the meetings. But you're not going to have to worry about that because it's integrating automatically from Briefing Edge.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. What was that, Trisha?
Oh, sorry, the default is selected.
Yes.
Like that's the default. The selected is the default, not for all.
Right.
Right.
That's correct.
No. It's when you come to this page, the default is all. I think. Refresh the browser.
Okay. Yeah, it is all.
Yeah, the default is all. So this is all attendees. This is all attendees in the entire system. But because this is a particular meeting, you just want to hit selected.
Is there a way to default to selected?
Probably. We can ask engineering for that. Write that down.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be that hard to do.
Let me.
Okay, and the only reason I say that is because if we add users who aren't real, like, power users, they're just using it periodically,
Mm-hmm.
again, it scares me that they see all, which could include some customers and executives.
Sure.
Right.
And, okay.
Okay, so we'll make sure we'll bring that up to engineering to see if we can default that the view to selected. Cool. All right, I've taken that down as a note.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the last step is pretty much just publishing the event. So notice that there isn't a check mark here. So it's as simple as just clicking a button and now it's published to the app. So let me share my screen now.
Well, hold on. Don't publish the first one. That's not the task.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and let me just fire up my phone sharing real quick. You gotta be kidding me. I wonder if I'm able to share my screen with the audio. 1 second.
You are. I've done it before.
Okay, give me 1 second. Select AirPlay. You want me to? I can use QuickTime if you want me to. I was just gonna use this tool, but yeah, if you
Okay.
let me just plug into the computer. I think that'll be easier. That's what you're referring to, right?
I mean, that's probably the easiest, since the other one, I'm not sure if it's working for you.
Yeah, it's because I'm on my phone. So 1 sec. Sorry. All right. Whoa. So Leon, I just click on.
You just say new movie recording,
Oh, hey guys.
and then on that next to the record button, is your phone? Is your phone plugged in through the cable?
Yeah. 1 second. Let me just unplug, replug it in. Trust.
I that clock now that makes all that noise.
How come this keeps coming up?
Okay, your phone, when you click that down arrow, your phone should show up.
Oh.
Not working.
Yeah, it's not working.
There are some demos. Can you send me the link to download the staging version, and I can do this pretty quickly.
Yeah, sure. Let me do that.
Sorry, Trish.
Yes, bear with us.
I don't mind at all. No, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm actually impressed because one of the things we don't do a good job on is how to share off of our mobile devices. And we used AirPlay for a while, and it worked in meetings.
Yeah. There's I use this little application called Reflector.
Oh, so we used Reflector.
Yeah.
But
That works pretty good for me.
really? Okay. We actually
There's
software set up in our room.
There's another more enterprise level version. I could give you the name of it, but costs more money. But I think others would choose.
In meetings, we sometimes want to be able to show what the user interface is, like because we sell software, right? We want to be able to show the interaction through a mobile device. And yeah, so don't worry about me. I'm kind of intrigued in learning. So.
But Mira, I can't download this app because I don't get my UDID code on here. It should be, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to send you mine as well. But you know what? I know we're at 3, and I know we have a bunch of follow-up questions. I don't know what your bandwidth is on Monday, or even Tuesday, but should we do another short call?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I think so. And I'll have everything sorted out. I know what's going on. It's because I'm using my phone for this web conference. If I called in from the computer, everything would have worked seamlessly. But I'm sorry about that. But yeah,
No, it's fine.
we have hit the hour mark. So
Monday is not good for me. I don't know, how is Tuesday at noon my time, 9:00 your time?
Okay, so that's the 22nd.
I could do 9:30. I have a 9:00.
Okay, so 9:30 is fine. I have a hard stop at 10 your time, but that's fine.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I think 30 minutes should be adequate enough. I'll reach out to Haley to set up another WebEx. Otherwise, we can. Yeah. Does that work for everyone?
I'll put the, yeah. I'll send one out right now. No worries.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay. So, okay, good. So,
All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been really helpful. I think walking through it makes it more real and clears it up. Now, the other thing is to pick some dates so we get them on the calendar for the rest of the team. Should we do something, say, next Friday?
I I'm actually out next Friday.
Yeah, sorry, next Friday is, realizing, it's Good Friday.
That's Easter, yeah. Good Friday.
So, the 24th?
Yeah, I mean, I could do the 24th.
Yep.
Let me just get this other thing so I can look at my calendar.
Yeah.
See,